who's the product manager of First Build. In May, First Build was launched with GE. It's a really interesting concept. This is it's a new idea where it's a makerspace with a product launching platform to help community products be designed and launched to market in a rapid fashion. One of the first things that they are releasing is this device that allows people to connect to some really interesting new things. I'll let him explain more of it without giving too much away, but it's called the Green Bean, and I'm actually really excited about it myself. So, ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Dawson.
Okay, thanks everyone. I'm really excited to be here today on behalf of my team. I've been on a journey over the last 6 months from the corporate lifestyle to the startup lifestyle. And when I was trying to decide what to talk about today, I wanted to talk about how I view that and what we've learned about creating value through this entirely new approach called making. So first of all, what is First Build? First Build is an open innovation platform launched by GE Appliances back in May when we opened up a website and said, anyone submit your idea and then come to our website, look at what we're doing to develop products and be part of that. And then we also created a makerspace that we call a microfactory in July, where those products will be built and then sold to people who are part of our community. So people have asked why we do this, and the best answer I can come up with is there's two parts of GE Appliances that you see, just like there's two parts of any company. There's the piece that's very public, the products that you launch to the world. And so we launch products to the world, and they're good products. They meet customers' demands, and in general, we're really proud of what we do there. But then just below the surface, there's all the things that happen, all the products that never got launched. And this is the story that you really don't hear very much. So underneath the surface, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of different ideas that over the years just have never been able to surface or get their heads above water for one reason or another. And each one of these ideas represents a passion that someone has that they believed created value for a consumer or for themselves. And so we've known for a while that there is great untapped potential out there, and we've wanted to do something. And recently, in the last year or so, we've seen that this maker movement thing is really big, and it's actually even big in Louisville. We teamed up with Level 1 Makerspace, which is one of the premier makerspaces in the country, to do a hackathon focused around appliance innovations. We gave them 28 hours. 5 teams came up with new ideas for appliances. And we found out that there are people, even outside our company, who have passion for creating new user experiences for appliances. So this was kind of a new reality that dawned on us. So you combine the fact that we've got all this great ideas and talented people within our organization, and then you've got people outside who care about things too. And we started asking ourselves, what would happen if everyone could see what you were doing with appliances, and anyone could influence a product? So we wanted to create a platform where manufacturers and consumers and makers could join together and build new things. So we say our mission is to invent a new world of home appliances by creating a socially engaged community of home enthusiasts, designers, engineers, and makers that will share ideas, try them out, and then build real products to improve your life. So if you dig deep into why we're doing this and what the history that we've been through, and look at a traditional product launch, it's a very linear process. A couple of business leaders who have insight in the market say, we want to make a product. So they draft up a technical specification, which informs the entire rest of the product development process. And they flip that over to engineers who build the product and then evaluate it. This whole process is really internally focused until almost the very end when you do some consumer testing and then you put it into mass production. So it's worked really well. We've launched products, not always the most innovative products, but some of the challenges that you have is it costs a lot of money. So we're not talking just millions of dollars, we're talking about tens of millions or even hundreds of millions of dollars to launch a product, and we're talking about not just months but years in order to get a product to market. So there are things in this process that have impeded us from getting innovation into the market. The first one I want to talk about is confidentiality. So when you're confidential about a product launch, you really don't get meaningful feedback from the marketplace until years after the product was conceived. And so what that leads to is uncertainty as to whether the product will be adopted into the marketplace. And then you add on top of that the fact that we go straight to mass production, which again costs millions of dollars. So when you combine uncertainty with the high cost of manufacturing, that means that you are risk averse. yielding a years-to-market approach with rare product launches, and a bias against innovation because of the uncertainty as to whether that will be adopted. So Jay Rogers from Local Motors talked to you earlier today. We brought them in as partners into First Build because they had a completely different approach to product development that was thinking a lot more like a startup, and we wanted to adopt some of the thoughts that they had. So what we're trying to do with these three approaches, these three pillars of co-creation, is reduce or eliminate the barriers to getting a product to market so that the most innovative ideas can get there. So when we design, we do it with a community of people. It's actually real-time feedback on what ideas are the best ideas. And when we make stuff, we do prototypes, and then we do micro-factory production in low volume. And then when we sell, we try and sell the product within months of when the idea was brought up, so that the ideas can be tested very quickly. Ideas that fail, we won't make anymore. But we will find some great ideas that we will scale up into mass production. So this is a screenshot of our co-creation platform. This is our website, firstbuild.com. Anyone here can go on our website and check it out. What you have here is a place where people can not only share their ideas, but they can also participate in projects. They can see everything that's being built. So anytime we make an update to a product, anytime one of our community members in our microfactory makes an update to a product, they post it on the website so you can see what's been changing. You can download CAD files. There's a lot of things that you can do here. But it really doesn't stop at ideas. What we're trying to do is make a product that people can buy. So what we try and do is bring together people of multiple disciplines, makers, engineers, enthusiasts, designers, consumers, all these people who have a stake in seeing a new product come to market. When we talk about microfactory production, we're talking about low volume production. So we try and get a first product in months, get it out into the marketplace, and we'll scale up from there into larger run production. We happen to have a parent organization who's very capable of making things in full-scale production. So what we want to do is have people who have a passion for a project, for an idea, see their product go out into millions of homes worldwide. But most critical to our vision is our focus on making. So ideas are great, and that's a starting point. But what we want to do is make it as easy as possible and refocus the product development process on actually making a physical prototype. Because when you make that physical prototype, you start to smoke out some of the challenges that lie beneath the surface, as well as you have something physical that's sitting in front of you and people can say, I like this, or it needs to do this. And we've seen through this process over the last 6 months, as we've started to change our focus to making, we've seen that it's really changed the way that a product evolves. And it's changed it towards thinking about the user experience. So why are we so interested in being part of the maker movement? Well, a big part of it is because a lot of the people in our organization are makers in and of themselves. And I was motivated by this quote when I saw it a couple months ago. Alil Saranin, he said, always design a thing by considering it in the next larger context. A chair in a room in a house in an environment in a city plan. So the reason why we as makers are ideal people to be involved in product design is because product design is about the user experience. And the things we make aren't merely specs on a sheet or prototypes in a lab. They're meant to be companions in everyday life. And so the context in which we as makers experience products is the home. And we're constantly looking for ways to adopt new technologies and things that will make our lives better in that environment. And we do it for ourselves, and we do it for our neighbors, and we try and share it with the community. So what I've seen in summary about the way that we develop products is a shift from an internally focused mindset or corporate mindset to a making mindset, where we've shifted from an internal focus on building a product to spec to constant iteration and making in the context of a community of people. Instead of making later or focusing on building a spec and then saying this sheet of paper says what we're going to make, we talk about making sooner. So we want to build a prototype very quickly and test it out and get in front of people. And we no longer need to limit innovation. We can actually pursue innovation. So this is one of the cool ideas that have come out of this innovation process. This is called the Autofill Pitcher. It's a pitcher of fresh, cold water every time you open your refrigerator door. And so you put it in your refrigerator, it fits in the dock, and then it fills up from bottom to top. Now, the reason I mention this product is because when we decided that we were going to try and make this product with our community, we decided to approach it in a completely different way than we would have ever done. So the engineer who helped design the product effectively just took a MakerBot, stuck it on his desk, and then day after day, he made another iteration until the product was about right, and then he would show that product to our community every day and say, what do we need to do next on this? It sped up the product development process and made a better product than we would have had otherwise. Our normal cycle time on getting a 3D printed product in a corporate environment is usually 3 to 7 days. Being able to do something on a daily basis was an amazing experience for us. And then we also decided, if we're going to launch this product, let's try and do it for the lowest cost possible. So let's make it available as a kit that people can add to their refrigerators. So in October, we'll actually make this kit available for people to purchase from firstbuild.com so that they can have their own Autofill Pitcher. We'll make files available so that you can see how it works. We'll make all the software available so you can see how that works. This is another cool product. So there was a design team, and then there was an engineering team, and the design team said, we want to make it so that we want to make it easier for people to insert and remove food from their refrigerator, or from their oven, sorry. So they decided that the drawer on the top of this oven, and it's a double oven, should pull out, and then the door should actually rotate down 90 degrees. This is what the design team said. The engineering team said, within the amount of time we got, it's not feasible to do that. We just want the door to stay upright. So the design team said, okay, just scrap the whole thing. And the engineer said, wait a second, let's just build the best thing or as close as we can get to it. So this is what they built. It's an oven that has a drawer that has a peak feature that rotates down 35 degrees. So the peak feature actually came from someone saying, you know what, we can't get quite to the spec that they want, but we're going to build the closest thing we can. And this is what the actual product looks like. So you can peek the door down, and then you can slide the drawer out. Every time we show this to people, they say, why was this never made before? And the reason why is because no one tried to make it before. So now we're making an easy load oven drawer, and that will be available for sale in the very near future as well. And then one of my personal favorites. Thank you. Anyone who wants to clap at any time can clap. One of my personal favorites is the next one. We wanted to make a new disposer. So we wanted to completely invent the disposer. So we created a control that you tap. The water is injected directly into the disposer, so you don't have to turn the water on. And then it'll turn itself off at the end. So we go from 4 steps, water on, water off, disposer on, disposer off, to 1 step. Go ahead. This whole process of designing the disposer was really about just making it. So I will tell you, and this is in confidence, no one here can tell anyone else, but I'll tell you that we actually argued for about 3 months on whether or not we should have a disposer that had water that was directly injected into it. And then one day, we just said, you know what, let's actually make it. And the day that we made it, everyone said, this is amazing, we need to go forward with this. And then we decided, let's put a control on there so people can monitor and see what the thing is doing. Let's make it capacitive touch. So I can personally vouch for the fact that making something really is the way that you create value. All right, so I have a really exciting announcement to make today. We're launching a new product called Green Bean. Green Bean is a bridge to the brain of your GE appliances that allows you to do more with them. So you can hook up a Raspberry Pi, or you can hook up a computer to your, through the Green Bean to your appliance and develop software that allows you to control your appliances. This happens at a couple of different hierarchical levels. All right, so for people who don't have extensive experience in software development, you have access to our software algorithms. So if you wanted to create an oven that can notify you when it's done, or that you can turn on from your smartphone, all you have to do, you'd create an application that allows you to say, I want to set the oven to 350 degrees, I want it to go for this amount of time, and it will use our cooking algorithm in order to do that. We also have the capability of allowing you to go a level much deeper and control heating elements and fans and sensors so that you can create entirely new algorithms. The idea behind Green Bean was we wanted to make it a platform that software hackers and hardware hackers alike could develop their own new ideas for what they could do with their appliances based on their experiences with their appliances. So this is an example of one of the cool things that happened that's been built. One of our engineers said, let's build a smartwatch that tells you when your dryer cycle is done. So it says your laundry is done, go get it before it wrinkles. And then if you're away from your dryer at that point in time, you can talk back to your smartwatch, keep my laundry fresh, and it'll keep the drum spinning until you get back home. This is one of my personal favorites. About 6 months ago, when we were just launching the concept of First Build, I told my brother about it. I didn't even know that my brother was a maker. He lives in Arizona, I live in Kentucky, so we hadn't talked about it. And so I went to his home and I told him that we're doing this thing called First Build. It's about letting a community develop devices and develop new appliances. And he said, I have something I have to show you. So he takes me into his kitchen and he shows me this. He calls it his butter conditioner. That's his power supply. He opens up the refrigerator door for me. He's got this insulated cabinet, and then he's got his butter sitting on top of a heater that he keeps at 70 degrees all the time so that he can have perfectly spreadable butter, because in Phoenix, of course, butter when it's placed on your counter melts. So this was a really inspiring idea. It's not that everyone in the world wants a butter conditioner, because it's something that probably only people in Phoenix or Mexico or wherever they live want. But people actually have these things that they want to do for themselves. And this really inspired us on what we could do. So we decided that this was a cool idea, but it wasn't really technically feasible in the short run, because you'd have to have power that would be run to power the butter conditioner, and you'd have to have it would be very difficult to tap into our electronics. So we decided, okay, let's build a platform, and we called it Chill Hub. This is a hub that you can plug new devices into your refrigerator into, so that you can develop anything that you want to put in your refrigerator. So Chill Hub is really inspired by this notion that makers anywhere would want to be able to build something that could go in their refrigerator. You might want a wine chiller that keeps your wine at precisely 42 degrees. You might want something that keeps your beverage at a certain temperature. You might want to defrost your meat or something like that. So this is the beverage minder. One of our community members actually built this beverage minder. It's got a little thermistor built into it. It's got a fan, so it chills your beverage quickly, and then it notifies you when the beverage is at your desired temperature. And then another idea came up from one of our other community members. So he said, let's put a camera in your fridge so that every time you open the door, it takes a picture, and then you can check back from your smartphone when you're at the grocery store and make sure that you know what's in your fridge, so you can tell when you're missing your ketchup or when you need to buy ketchup. And then we had to do something with the Makey Makey, of course. So we made the Makey Makey dog dish. I thought this was a video, but it's not playing. So the dog steps on the mat that knows the dog is there. He puts his tongue in the water, it completes the circuit, and then it fills up the bowl to the top. I wish I had the video working, but you can go on our website and see it if you want to see it. So what's next for First Build? First Build is, we want this product to get out to the maker community. And we know that not a lot of people have GE appliances. So we're going to be creating what we're calling Green Bean Garden, which is a place where you can log into a GE appliance and try out your idea. The appliance will be physically in our makerspace, our microfactory, but you can log in and try out your idea. And we'll even make it so that you can log into one of our double robots and you can see exactly what the appliance is doing. And then maybe even more interesting, we're doing what we're calling Green Bean Crate Hack. So if you run a makerspace or you know someone who runs a makerspace, we want them to be able to have access to a GE appliance. So come and talk to me afterward. If you need a fridge or a range for your makerspace, we want you to have something so that you can do something with it and just share the ideas that you've created on our website. So I hope this vision that I'm putting out here has kind of helped you see what First Build is really about. We want to encourage anyone and everyone to be involved in development of things for their appliance. And we want those who are users of the appliance to be really a big part of this. So I thank you for listening to me today. I'm going to be available from 3 to 5 in office hours in the lunchroom. So please come and talk to me. I'm a little bit booked from about 3 to 3:30, but from then on, I'd really like to talk to anyone, especially if you've got a makerspace. So that's it. Thank you.